Warning: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as a criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I reserve my First Amendment rights to express myself. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, guys, I am extremely late today. I was supposed to be on earlier, but I got pulled away with a situation here at the apartment. Somebody needed our help, so um, had to stop and help them real quick, and then clean up, and then go. So now I'm here. So we are. So we are. I know a few of you have been asking about the flooding here in Texas. I have been trying to keep as much news and much information as possible. It's just a lot is going on every hour on the hour, every minute on the minute. So I'm trying to just I was saving a bunch of videos, trying to keep up with some of the statistics going on and things like that. So I think what I'm just going to do is we're just going to go through all the stuff that's going. I mean, this has been going. It started. I know it was before, I think, July 1st when the first city was hit, and it just kept on going and going and going. I know it's been raining for a few weeks here in Texas, so and then not including a lot of people are starting to make this flood a very political statement, which I don't think right now is the time to make it a political statement, but I think our main focus on it should be helping these families right now during the time, and not focus on the political aspects at the moment. But I am going to kind of just show you exactly what they're trying to, what they're just putting out there as far as politically rise. But again, yes, you can have some. Just don't eat them all. um, So yes, many missing girls need to search and rescue. Yes, they're actually performing a search and rescue right now. That's what really was just updating as I was getting on. Um, yes, as far as how we can help, I'm still looking into that. I know Sarah on X has a few. I think she has a list of a few. Resources that are there, organizations that are there. So I will look into that. I was trying to find it, but I'm not really familiar with X. That's why I just save a lot of the X posts and then come back to them later because I'm not familiar with X and how to navigate around it. But yes, as of like maybe 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes ago, I think the count was 70 deceased, 11 missing children were still, and I think it was like one or two adults still missing. So from Camp Mystic, I know that um, the the head counselor, or not the head counselor, but the owner of Mystic. I'm not sure what to call him. A camp counselor, camp head guy. I know he was one of the unfortunate ones that didn't make it in the flood. So again, we're gonna just pull up articles, videos. I'm gonna try to update. Kind of go a little further back and then kind of update you throughout the time. So that way we kind of see what has been going on. I know these are going to be very tragic videos, traumatizing. So trigger warning, trigger warning. Let me take that down real quick. Y'all don't need my cash app for this right now. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let me share. And I think we're going to start off with some of the videos from X just to kind of show exactly what people have been going through. Um, I know just the other day on Facebook, I think I posted a video of an older gentleman that is it was probably in at home in a hospital bed, and they were literally the water was like not far from the bed. So the the water got really, really high. Um so let me go ahead and share this screen. Hopefully I'll be able to find it. I'll share this one. So as you can tell that video right there off the back, like this is really crazy. So let's start off. As you can tell, like from the picture, on the thumbnail, it this little girl was literally trapped in a tree on July 4th. She was pretty much saved. Um, an older couple found her, was able to go and get help, and they were able to rescue her. But she literally floated, like traveled 12 miles down the stream or down the river. I shouldn't say stream. But there is a video, and I do want to play that.
Truly, tell a story of heroism and a miracle. Truly, tell me, Carl.
True miracle. There's no other way to explain it.
You heard her screaming.
I did. We had gone away from the house for a little while because we were afraid the water was coming in our house. And I waited till it was stabilized, and I knew, so I waded back over. I came up on the deck, and she saw me, so she started to scream out loud. And I thought she was in the water going down the river, and I finally looked and was able to spot her in the tree. And so, I began to holler back to her, hey, I see you, we'll get you help. And I called 911, waited about 20 minutes, nobody showed up, and I got in my vehicle, drove down the road to where I knew there were going to be authorities, and I found a DPS agent, and he then videoed or called in and sent some folks over here, but it still took a while. So
they brought a boat.
They did. We had a little bullhorn. We were hollering back and forth at her to let her know, hey, just hang on, because she was desperate. I mean, desperate. And
then you learned she came all the way from Hunt Ingram?
After they were able to pluck her out, we brought her into our house and gave her a shower.
That in itself is a miracle. Um, to be able to hold on, and even at that, believe it or not, when you open up these comments, I think it was like, hey, give him some, please. I mean, oh, yeah, share with him. Yeah, if we go back to the pictures, if you read some of the comments, they're really sad. They something that should not be going on right now. We should not be talking about people's weight right now. This should not be a priority with this child right now. The priority was to save this child. So whoever made that comment in there, you're not the greatest. Now it's not the time to pinpoint on somebody's size, especially a kid. Hopefully they deleted those comments, but
a story
again, people are becoming real nasty. Again, these are people who they they were able to save a small group of girls from the Camp Mystic. These are some of the people going in to the elementary school to be reunited with their loved ones. So again, we all know President Trump spoke about this. At that time, the count was high, but it has raised since then. Like, this video was just This was just on July 4th again. 23 girls were missing. This is what the flood looked like. It was crazy. And they were stating that the youngest girls at the Mystic camp, they were the youngest, but they were also the closest to the flood. They were closest to the water when the flood started. And then this is where people are taking this out of context. We should be, again, like I said, we should be focusing on the after effects and helping and searching for these kids and not worrying. Go to the room, both of you. Both of you. Nope. Put that on mute. Thank you. Um, Y'all are too old to be doing that. There's another cookie in there, Papa. Don't leave that in there. Come on. Come on. So, and then it says, obviously they're blaming, now they're starting to blame whose fault it was for these things. Some people are saying they didn't have enough warning. Some people saying certain people had 3 days, at least 3 hours of warning. Now, whether that's enough time for, people to leave their residence, be able to evacuate. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know if that is an accurate time frame, but I don't think it is. But it's still, there was some type of warning. Um, but again, they, according to this, it says tragic flash flooding in Kerr County, Texas, that claimed the lives of several innocent children, saying the state deserves what they're getting. So yes, these are the people that are not focusing on what needs to be taken care of. These are not, they're more focused on political issues. It's very sad where they're saying, I'm glad this stuff happens to you. Um, this is exactly what they're getting. The people in Texas voted for the government services controlled by Donald Trump and Greg Abbott. This is what they're getting. Cry harder. Texas deserves it. I don't think anybody deserves anything like this. It's not awful. It's what Texas deserves. Now, this is sad. These kids did not deserve this because of how somebody voted or whatever. Apparently, they're stating that funds are getting reduced from the NOAA, I believe, the weather people. Somebody got fired. Funds are being reduced. Yes, so hateful. Funds are being reduced, but now whether funds have already been reduced at this point, I'm not too sure. I think it actually starts later on in October, later on in the year. So apparently they still have full funding up until the funding ends. And then when the funding restarts, they are gonna lower at that. Um, your guess is as good as mine, Rainbow. I don't know how people can be like that. Here we are, we're having children lose their lives, and you're saying that these children deserve it. These children, it's it should happen. Like I mean, I'm kind of happy that the National Weather. Let's read this one. Ursup the chef. I'm kind of happy that the National Weather Service gave incorrect predictions when it came to how much rainfall would fall, especially since the best and brightest from the org were let go due to Dodge, Elon, and Trump. Texas deserves the flooding. Rover, Texas, what you're gonna do? There's no FEMA to pick you up by your bootstraps. They gave it all to ICE. So it's like, what? Like, really, this is not should be not be the focal point. Um. So again, here they are. Despite what the leftist accounts will tell you, the funding to NOAA hasn't been cut yet. So again, you're more worried about the political than what is going this flood going on right here. That whole bunch of water going on. You can care less if somebody was in there just to prove a point. Like, that's not cool at all. Not cool at all. So again, as of 18 hours ago, the longtime owner and director of Camp Mystic, Dick Eastland, died while trying to save and protect campers from rushing flooding waters. So it is Very tragic. So we're gonna switch over to the updated article. Um, of course, we're gonna kind of go through. Where is the video I had up? I think it was this one. Okay. So this was the live update. It was updated about 13 minutes ago. But this one was updated a little longer than that, so I'm sure if I refresh it, it'll probably refresh. But I do want to play this video because this at this time when I first started this live, was recently the most updated live coverage. So we'll go through this and we'll try to keep updated because it is a lot, guys. It's a lot. Like in all the little bit of minute, you could see how much everybody um was doing that. I think I have something in my bookmarks. I don't know. Let me just double check. Nope, I didn't. Okay. So let me hide. And then I'm going to switch to another one. Share this tab instead. Okay. So this is the video that I want y'all to see because this is the update where it says there's the statistics.
Breaking news on the deadly floods in central Texas. The death toll has continued to rise overnight on the third straight day of frantic search and rescue missions. The number of dead is now at 70 people, including children. We also learned today 11 children and one counselor are still unaccounted for from Camp Mystic. That's that all-girls summer camp. It's just one of the many scenes of destruction. Today, Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro stressed the urgency in the search for survivors.
The priority is on making sure that those girls are found and are saved, and anybody else who may be missing at this point. And then I think after that, we have to figure out in the future how we make sure that it doesn't happen again.
There are many developments to cover and questions still to answer in this ongoing flooding disaster. We're going to start with NBC's Ryan Chandler in Kerrville, Texas. Ryan?
Rescue operations continue at a frantic pace here in the Texas Hill Country by land, air, and water. Helicopters, planes, drones, dogs, dive teams. It is all hands on deck to try and find people who may still be alive. Meanwhile, more heartbreaking updates as the death toll rises. Just here in Kerr County along the Guadalupe River, 59 people have been found dead, including 21 children, and we know 12 people are still missing from Camp Mystic alone, including 11 campers, those young girls, and one counselor. Officials say they do not know how many other people may be missing. People who came to vacation here for the 4th of July. They don't know how many people were along the river. That is why these rescue operations are continuing at a desperate pace as families are desperate for answers. But with every update we get, we learn that we've lost more.
This morning, President Trump said that he signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County. In the last hour, officials there gave an update on the search and recovery efforts.
As of 9 a.m. this morning, we've recorded 59 deceased in Kerr County. Among those who are deceased, we have 38 adults and 21 children. 18 adults pending identification and 4 children are also pending identification. At present, there are 11 Camp Mystic campers unaccounted for, along with 1 counselor. We extend our sincerest condolences and prayers for every single family affected by this tragedy.
I'm old enough to remember Fred Rogers, and he one time said, during a crisis, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. In Kerrville, those helpers are the city staff, county personnel, state agencies, and federal agencies. The entire Kerrville City Council is on site today. We're doing everything we can.
Overnight, local officials confirmed at least 51 people, including 15 children, died in the flooding. Kerr County has been the hardest hit, and search and rescue teams are racing to find 20.
Okay, guys. So yes, so that is currently what's going on. Let me refresh to see because I still, like they said, they're still searching. So let's. at 2:30. So this is the most recent one, and they are showing. Yes, baby love. In it, okay. What, you can't hear it? Go give me the remote. Um. Okay. So let's show on stream. Show.
Today, Texas Congressman of destruction. Breaking news on the deadly floods in central Texas. The death toll has continued to rise overnight on the third straight day of frantic search and rescue missions. The number of dead is now at 70 people, including children. We also learned today 11 children and one counselor are still unaccounted for from Camp Mystic. That's that all-girls summer camp. It's just one of the many scenes of destruction. Today, Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro stressed the urgency in the search for survivors.
The priority is on making sure that those girls are found and are saved, and anybody else who may be missing at this point. And then I think after that, we have to figure out in the future how we make sure that it doesn't happen again.
There are many developments to cover and questions still to answer in this.
Okay. Oh, why did I turn it off? So let's just go down, and if you look, okay, let's just say Camp Mystic. This was 20 minutes ago. It says Camp Mystic says tragedy has devastated us and our entire community. At least 27 people at Camp Mystic in Texas died from the flooding of the Guadalupe River. The camp confirmed in a statement, and a number of others connected to the camp remain unaccounted for. The camp said it is working with local and state officials to try to locate the 11 girls who remain missing. This tragedy has devastated us and our entire community. Our hearts are broken alongside the families that are enduring this tragedy, and we share their hope and prayers, the camp statement said. So here, just 30 minutes ago, you see the search and rescue operations continue to Texas. So they're getting their breakdown, and they're going to get ready to go out. You see the state vehicle police. I mean, it is crazy. They have everybody out there. They got rescue boats. Of course, George W. Bush, right? Yeah, George W. Bush timed in on X. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. This one says survivors cling to life as Texas storms turn deadly. It says I had to swim through the window. Like others who were in homes or vacationing over the July 4th weekend at Texas Guadalupe River, Christian Fell, 25, was jolted awake by the crack of thunder. It was about 3 a.m., just a couple of hours since Fell had gone to sleep alone in his grandmother's home on the river in Hunt, Texas. The rest of the family was staying upriver at another house. Then came more noise, this time surrounding like a break-in, and got to go he got to go out of bed. I get up and I swing my feet over the side of the bed and I could feel water, Fell said. I went too far. The river water that he normally watched from the patio of the historic stone home his grandfather built was now over his ankles and rising fast. He would soon learn it was dragging trees and debris that slammed against the house, tore up the patio, nearly trapped him inside, and ultimately forced him to swim through a window and cling to a meter box to survive. A meter box. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this time the meter box was already sparked and no fuse and probably wasn't even working, but I think I would be scared as shitballs to hold on to a meter box in a thunderstorm. But at that time, it's a fight for survival. Of course, Dallas Cowboys, Houston, Texas, and the NFL Foundation donated 1.5 million to the disaster relief efforts. Um, so they had their say there. Um, just looking at those pictures, that's bad. That's bad. Of course, there is a lot of videos over the time. Why did it go back up? What's going on with my system? What? Okay, who's messing with my system? Stop messing with my system. Um, Culver City manager dodges questions on advanced emergency alerts. So, of course, certain people are saying they didn't have no alerts. Some people are saying the alerts weren't, there were alerts, but they weren't in time. Um, I'm just scrolling through this. You can see the pictures, the devastation. I mean, this is the after effects of the kids' cabin. So slowly but surely, the storm is moving on, but it's going from one town to the next county to the next county, and it's just destroying that pretty much whole county and city. You can see people are searching. So this is all, like they said, it from overnight. It went from 51 to 70, and these are just going down. And then the scientists are putting out their percentage, and I'm not going to read that because let's see. And just a lot of things have been coming out. I'm sure if I scroll down through this, it's going to bring up something new. Oh, look, here's an update about an hour ago. Let's see what they have to say. Let me pause that, turn it on. Let me share this tab instead. Let's go ahead.
This is the 10 a.m. briefing from the Kerr County Response Management for the flood disaster. First up today, we have Sheriff Larry Letha.
Y'all ready? Okay. Once again, Larry Letha, Kerr County Sheriff. Again, thank y'all for covering this and helping us get the message out. I'll start first, and then our city manager will go next and give you some information, and then we'll finish with our Kerrville mayor. Okay, what I'm here to do, like I said, is give you all the most current updated information. Please bear in mind these numbers will continue to change. As I'm walking in the door, I'm getting texts. It's going to be like yesterday. I think these numbers will continue to change and increase as time goes on. But like I said, we'll do a good job on keeping you updated. Search and rescue operations continue with a full response from local, state, and national first responders. At present, there's over 400 first responders for more than 20 agencies that are working in Kerr County. We have more than a dozen canine working in and near the river. More than 100 air, water, and ground vehicles are in the field right now working on this search and rescue. As of 9 a.m. this morning, we've recorded 59 deceased in Kerr County. Among those who are deceased, we have 38 adults and 21 children. 18 adults pending identification, and 4 children are also pending identification. At present, there are 11 Camp Mystic campers unaccounted for, along with 1 counselor. We extend our sincerest condolences and prayers for every single family affected by this tragedy. And we continue to work around the clock and reunite these families. We will continue to our search efforts until everybody is found. Our missing person call center is open, and those reporting missing loved ones can call the number 830-258-1111. I'll repeat one more time, 830-258-1111. Please follow the Kerr County Sheriff's Office and City of Kerrville Facebook for your latest information. At this time, I'll turn it over to our City Manager, Dalton Rice.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you all for being here today. Everyone in the community is hurting, and we know many of you are locals or have some local connections here, so please keep everybody in your thoughts as we continue to navigate this very challenging time for our community. Search operations continue. Starting about 0600 this morning, we started putting boots on the ground. We have increased our number of personnel that are navigating the really challenging shores along the bank line, but we are continuing to make progress from west to east as we continue operations. What we really need from y'all is to really help us get the word out. We know that people want to volunteer, but what we're starting to see is personal drones that are flying. With these personal drones that are flying, that is a danger to aircraft, which risks then further operations. So if you could, please pass the communication along that we need to keep these personal drones out of the sky. We have drones and assets flying. We want to continue to do that. For volunteers and donations, we do have a phone number, 830-465-4794. We can give you that number after, but if you want to volunteer, if you have donations, please contact that number and they will help get everything out. We have families who need to be reunited, and we are continuously making effort to make sure that our families are reunited. We want to continue to work together with our community. We appreciate everybody here, and we want to make sure that we stay Kerr united. I'm going to let the mayor wants to say a few words, and then I will take a couple questions after the mayor.
Again, thank you for being here. You know, I'm old enough to remember Fred Rogers. And he one time said, during a crisis, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. In Kerrville, those helpers are the city staff, county personnel, state agencies, and federal agencies. The entire Kerrville City Council is on site today. We're doing everything we can. Let me repeat something I said yesterday. In our Emergency Operations Center, it's not a bunch of different teams. It's one team. Our goal is to rescue those in peril and find those who are lost. If you are interested in donating to help those families who've been affected, you can visit the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. They've set up a portal for donations, and I understand our community, our state, and the world have been responding. Thank you. Kerrville's branch of the Salvation Army has been designated as our official partner for volunteer coordination and in-kind donations. They can be reached at a number very similar to what you just heard, 830-465-4797. Also, we have a website for volunteers to register, a different website. It's tcr.communityos.org. It's important to follow the City of Kerrville's Facebook page for updates. If you follow social media and are interested in such things, I may be too old to tell you this, but there is a hashtag. It's hashtag Kerr United. That's what we are. We're united to help those who are grieving and to find those who are lost. And now we'll open up to questions. I cannot answer operational questions, but I'm going to ask the city manager to come back up.
I'm not sure who can answer this, but we just talked with business owners who are very concerned not only for themselves but also for employees about how are they going to pay their mortgage, how are they going to pay their electricity. They've been having people reach out to them about their bills, and they're terrified that in the middle of all this, they're going to get cut off or evicted.
We are working through everything right now. Currently our biggest focus is to making sure that we get families reunited with their loved ones. And so we are not going to stop until we are able to get those families reunited.
Mr. Rice,
Question
for both you and the sheriff. There appears to be a massive operation now in Center Point. Is that where we're seeing bodies recovered at this moment?
We are seeing bodies recovered all over, up and down. So as we make our way east to west, we have the entire pretty much span of operations. We broke it down into grids so we can recover those bodies. So yes, it is a full operation.
None as of this morning, please.
Mr. Rice.
One more question.
Yeah, well, one of the questions that still hasn't been answered 3 days into this is despite TDEM's warning on July 2nd and July 3rd that something like this could have happened, that the threat existed, why that information didn't get down to the camps and why they weren't evacuated. Can you answer that now?
That is a great question, but again, we want to make sure that we continue to focus. We still have 11 missing children that we want to get reunited with our families. Until we can get reunited with our families, we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop until we do. So, thank you.
Just a quick follow-up question, sir. Was any emergency alert given out on the 4th that morning of? Did anyone get
Sir,
any
there are
alert?
families who deserve better than that.
Okay. So you kind of heard what they were doing. Again, this is what I was saying. We need to focus on finding these missing people. We need to focus on helping the survivors of this flood and getting them back on their feet. We should not be wishing this upon anybody. We should not be laughing at the situation. We should not be doing any of these. It's very, very disrespectful. And then to comment about the little kids and about their weight and stuff, like we really need to focus on what the importance of this is. And again, it's about the community coming together, not falling apart. We need to handle the situation. And then once the situation is taken care of, then you can focus on how to fix it, on how to make things better. And then y'all can duke it out on political issues and things like that. But I really think God dang, Jaden. And so, again, we need to really, you heard some of the numbers. I need to go back, I'll go back and write them down. Again, this was the first time me seeing this video too, so I'll go back and get their websites. Get the telephone numbers, get the websites. I'll list them on my YouTube page and Facebook page. I don't know if anybody follows me on any other platforms, but I know my Facebook page, I've been shooting a lot. I don't know why I didn't get on my Facebook and show. I know I thought I had. Either I was sharing or saving. I don't know what's going on. I think I did reels. Again, I was just trying to put things out there, making sure information is current. But again, everything is, I still try to keep it local as well. But anyway, so again, let me just refresh because, news is news. News is always happening. Oh, look, now we got a new meeting. Let's do this. Stop. Actually, I think this is currently live right now. So let me go ahead and share this tab and we'll get right to it.
Good afternoon. I'm Phil Wilson, General Manager of Lower Colorado River Authority. I think the most significant message we have in the general area right now is that if and when we get more rain, please stay off the lakes. High of the lakes have a lot of debris right now. It's not safe to be boating. It's not safe to be out there. We'll let you know when it is, but critically, stay off the lakes. It's July. People are used to summer, and this is not a good time to be out there. To an echo, we're working very closely with law enforcement. We have our rangers deployed to Burnett County right now with our mobile command center trying to support the activities up there. It's a partnership working all together with the law enforcement, TNM, and everyone that's showing up to help assist. It's a very critical time for us. Next, what the governor said, we have a lot of saturation. We opened gates up at Wirtz and Starkey the last couple of days. Those are closed right now. We're ready just in case we need to. We've added more than 350,000 acre feet to the Highland Lakes of Buchanan and Lake Travis. We're 67% full. We have a lot of room in Hendrum in case more water does come in to make sure those reservoirs do what they're supposed to do, which is to capture the water for the future and protect against flooding. Thank you, Governor.
Very good. Now, Chief Nimkit.
Thank you, Governor. And I want to remind everyone, life safety is still our number one priority. And what I mean by that is, and Colonel Martin said it very well, Kerrville and Kerr County have great local emergency managers and responders. They really do. But they're a community of about 55,000 people. And they had a lot of people there that were not from that area visiting, vacationing. And their resources, and this is what state agency, what the state government does when a local community gets overwhelmed, is we send in additional resources. So our hats are still off to all of those local responders that live and work in that community, and that their homes and families were also impacted, and they're still there on the job. We owe them a great amount of gratitude. Second, we continue with our search not only in Kerr County, but everywhere that we know we have missing people. And I need your help in being very cautious. Let's not get wrapped around the axle on the word recovery. You're going to start hearing the word recovery used in a lot of different contexts. Be very careful how you use that word, because I'm going to be careful how I use that word as well. We are going to begin recovery operations. That is debris cleanup. That is opening roads. That does not mean we are no longer doing search for live victims, because we still are. We are still out there in very much hopes, very much fueled by the compassion that we show for these families, that we're doing everything we can to find their missing loved ones. So please help me in making sure that we're not wasting our time and efforts on debating over the meanings of words. Let's get clarity when we ask those questions. Second, I'm asking, we've driven around Kerr County and the other areas a lot. We have a lot of people that are traveling in because they want to see firsthand the damage. I'm asking you, if you're not from the community and if you're not involved in our response and rescue and recovery efforts, stay out of the area. Stay out of the area because you don't know the area. Another thing I'm getting right this minute during this press conference is reports of an additional wall of water coming down some of the creeks going into the forks. And I want you to think about that for a second. If you're not from that area and you don't know the low water crossings, you could find yourself in a very dangerous situation. The next thing is we see a lot of information on social media about volunteers and spontaneous volunteers being frustrated because they can't help. We are evacuating parts of the river right now because we're worried about another wall of water coming down in those areas. If you're a volunteer there that you're not checked into our operations, we have no way of accounting for you right now. There is a process that we use to get volunteers into the response, and I'm asking for your help and to get that message out. It's not that we think we don't need any help. It's that we want to make sure everyone helping is doing the job that we need, where we need it, and when we need it, and we have the ability to communicate with them. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about the word recovery as it relates to the President's disaster declaration. We are very excited to begin those recovery operations with our federal partners who have been here with us in the Emergency Operations Center since last Thursday, since before all of the actual flooding and disaster started. And we're going to work very close with those partners to help our local communities and our families that are impacted by this recover from this disaster as fast as possible. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. We'll take a few questions. Go ahead.
Isabel, I know that you mentioned 10 deaths in Central Texas. Is there any way you could give us a breakdown of the cities?
We sure can. Chief Kidd has it.
So we're showing, 3 in Burnett County, 1 in Tom Green County, 5 in Travis County, and 1 in Williamson County. And again, those numbers are a few hours old. Those numbers could go up, but that's what we had as the time preparing for this briefing.
You said what county?
Tom Green.
Tom Green?
Tom Green.
Yes, ma'am. San Angelo area.
You just said something about a wall of water that you're just now getting reports about. Can you talk more about that and what you're seeing there?
Yeah, I'll share some of it. So I apologize for looking at my phone during the press conference, but this is the live updates that we're getting right now from the field. Is there are unconfirmed at this point reports of additional water coming in. And as the governor mentioned, there's rain still falling on the area. It's not going to take the same amount of rain that caused this damage to make the current water levels rise up, right? Because the ground is already saturated. So any rain that falls can be perceived as life-threatening rain. And so if you're in a low-lying area, we need you to move yourself out of that low-lying area. We've got DPS aircraft that are flying up to try to find this wall of water right now, and the people in the reported areas, again unconfirmed, that are on our communication systems, we're asking them to get out of the water and out of the way so that we don't wind up having to do additional rescues.
Governor,
Abigail Bellis, CBS Austin. You had mentioned that there are dozens of Central Texans missing. Local resources can't continue searching in the dark of the night. Does this federal disaster declaration mean that we have federal resources to continue searching when it's pitch black?
Sure. Well, first of all, on the federal disaster declaration, it applies right now to Kerr County. Let me go back. Let me see the total, my disaster declaration counties. So let me walk you through this. So I made an original state disaster declaration, and then I amended it to add more counties. Let me first go back over those counties, then I'll explain to you what's going on. Under the state disaster declaration includes the following counties: Bandera, Bexar, Burnett, Caldwell, Coke, Comal, Concho, Gillespie, Guadalupe, Kendall, Kerr, Kimball, Llano, Mason, McCullough, Menard, Reeves, San Saba, Tom Green, Travis, and Williamson. That means because of that the state is providing additional resources for those counties and state-based assistance. On the federal disaster declaration, for the time being, that includes only Kerr County, and they are waiting to see the magnitude of what happens in other counties before they may potentially expand the federal disaster declaration to include other counties.
So for now, local resources have to stop search and rescue efforts when the fall.
That's not accurate. We have drones and helicopters that have thermal and night vision and FLIR where they can search at night. Our special operations groups have that. And, at the law enforcement level, we don't really wait for a federal declaration. The feds come. They're there, they're helping. They offer assets and resources. This helps with funding and additional resources and bringing in from out of state. But our local federal partners, they're very involved. So we've, of course, we're a lot more productive during the day, but we search at night, and we're seeing some really good results, which is good. But the bad news is you will see the death toll rise today and tomorrow.
One other thing to add to that is the U.S. Coast Guard, part of the federal government, was here working long before the declaration was granted based on our partnership and relationship. So we still have Coast Guard assets here, and they will operate at night as well. Thank you for the question.
Go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit more about the warnings that local officials got, the way that the state and the federal government communicated with local officials, and whether you believe that these deaths were preventable?
So there were multiple steps taken by the state that I'll let Chief Kidd talk about, but the state began setting up operations in preparation for what could happen in Kerr County. It happened in the early morning hours of the 4th, which is Friday, and the state had pre-positioned assets and resources in and around that area beginning on Wednesday before the storm on Friday. As we learned more on Thursday, more assets were provided in various regions. We knew, based upon predicted weather, certain regions where the rain may fall. There was an inability to know precisely where that rain was going to fall and how much was going to fall where it did fall. And as far as what the locals may have done, Chief Kidd may know more than I, but I would leave it up to them to let you know.
And listen, thank you for the question. We need to spend a lot of time trying to answer this question because from a technical perspective, there are multiple warning systems that are out there. And all of us can choose to sign up for warning systems in certain areas depending on the local government that we're in and the way that their system works. There's a lot of talk about a program called WIA, the Wireless Emergency Alert, and IPAWS, the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System, and how they work or sometimes don't work. And then you have areas where there is no cell phone coverage. And if there's no cell phone coverage, it doesn't matter how many alert systems you sign up for, you're not going to get that. And then there's the NOAA weather radios from the National Weather Service. I'll ask you, how many of you have a NOAA weather radio by your bed at home? And so there can be all kinds of alert systems that are sent, and we know that some were sent, some general messaging was sent early, some urgent warnings were sent at various times, but just sending the message is not the same as receiving the message, having a plan to do something when you receive the message, and then the ability to implement that plan. And so I really would love to have a separate conversation with all of you about how we can continue to get the message to the public about what they need to do. when they get a message, what they should do when that message is received, and how they communicate that back to their loved ones and family members.
Let me add this also, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but the city manager for Kerrville explained that on the morning of the 4th, he was out jogging at about 3:30 in the morning, and it just then began to rain a little bit. He got home and saw that it rained a little bit more, and he saw after that the torrent of water that was coming down the river. And the point that he made was that by the moment of time when they knew the magnitude of the water, it's a difficult decision whether or not to begin evacuating people or not, because if you have a warning telling everybody to evacuate, you could actually lead them to their death. We know that some deaths in Kerrville were people who died who got swept away who were trying to evacuate. And so local officials know the best about the terrain, about the danger spots and things like that, about who might be able to evacuate, those that would just be getting into a more dangerous situation.
You talked in what you just said kind of about expertise and about just knowing the area, and that extends also to the National Weather Service folks who are in those offices and have years and years of experience. There are currently 6 vacancies in the local National Weather Service office that cover Kerr County. What is your perspective on how that could have impacted the warnings that you all were able to get and how accurate the information you all were able to get?
So I know nothing about the staffing. What I do know is what they put out. And it's my understanding that what they put out was kind of the information that the state was operating off of, and that is that there were alerts or warnings about heavy rain, potential for flash flooding in certain areas. A problem with that is that to most people in the area, flash flooding would mean one thing, not what it turned out to be, because they deal with flash floods all the time. Just like I put people on notice in these regions of Texas right now. There's the potential for flash flooding, but there's no expectation of a water wall of almost 30 feet high.
Governor Abbott, on that topic, we know that these alerts can be life-saving at times, and a lot of times these forecasters get their information from the National Weather Service. Are you communicating with your federal partners on how critical funding is for the National Weather Service in order to issue alerts like this and this disaster like this?
It's one of the things that we spoke about when Secretary Noem was in, and this is part of ongoing conversations. And I'll add this. As you all probably know, we have a special session coming up, and the way to respond to like what happened in Kerrville is going to be a topic for the special session to address.
We have time for 2 more questions.
Is part of what you want to address, because there was a bill that was going to create a council to kind of talk about what warning systems, and it was not successful. Is it a concern that there's all these camps along this area? This is an area that deals with flash flooding, but there were no sirens that were in this area. Can you talk about that and why that hasn't been funded to this point?
Well, it's going to be something that will be looked at. As you kind of pointed out, these camps go back almost 100 years, and they are familiar with the water in the area probably better than anybody else. And they have their own ways in which to deal with warnings that would involve children, sometimes as young as 8 or 9 years old. And we need to evaluate what they know, how they respond, what they need. And that's why it's going to be good to have a session with all members working together that will bring different perspectives, because the reality also is this, and that is what's needed in that river basin at that location could be far different than what's needed in some other river basin across the state.
Time for 1 more, folks.
Go ahead.
Hayden, Texas Tribune. Do you know if anyone tried to get warning to people at the camps outside of the automated disaster systems?
I missed the first part of the question.
Did anyone try to get warning to the people at the camps outside of the automated system?
So
I'm not sure that I understand the question. I mean, does somebody go door to door and knock on the doors, or?
Yeah, we're just wondering if there are any official outreach in the area.
You know, we talked to the county emergency manager when we were there the first day, and the county does have a plan for that county and the 18 or so camps that are in that county. Probably be really good to ask them that question and let them give you that answer. It's a good question. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Okay, so that was the latest update on that. That was literally live. Um, so I did was able to find that other video I was talking about with that gentleman. So we're gonna go over to that video. Um, let's see, share this tab instead. Okay, so you see him right here in the bed. I think it's playing, but you can go ahead and play it real quick. I don't know if you want volume on or not, but that video makes me want to cry every time. Like I'm starting to tear up. And okay, again, this is my Facebook, guys. So if you go to the webpage down at the bottom, the Addition T with D at the streamlats.com, then it'll have my Facebook and stuff there that you're able to just quickly link or just look me up. I mean, geez, I don't got nothing to hide. It's me. So, um, and all my stuff is pretty much there. But again, like this is sad. So this is why I mean even I get it, everybody wants to go and ask these questions towards Greg Abbott right now, but the main focus is on really he was right on the search, on getting these people back to their families, getting the resources to these people so that way they continue and then they could figure out how to make it better. Like there's a lot of things that did go into it. Like he said, there was implement, but yeah, with technology updating, I really honestly what happened to those I don't know if anybody's ever watched the movie Cry Baby with Johnny Depp, Ricky Lake, and all that stuff. Remember when they were during the times of all the bombings and they had those real loud roar? That's the things that we need. And they would just have one every couple of miles away, and then instead of using it for airstrikes and bombings, we use it for the weather alerts. People try to stay up to date. I mean, how many people actually one watch the news like that? If you're not, I mean, you're streaming more than likely you're streaming what you want to watch. Um, he's right. Not everybody owns a radio anymore because everybody either uses their Alexa, their phones, their tablets, their whatever. They're using Amazon Music, they're using Apple Music, they're using all these musics that don't put these kind of warnings out there. Oh, I at least I don't know because I don't really. Yeah, I listen to music every now and then. I'm like, Siri, play me this, and or whatever, or Alexa, whatever her name is. Um, but there's a lot of things that could have happened to where these people didn't get the notice in time. And then you have the people that are like, like he said, when you're familiar, when you are from an area that's constantly either flooding, having fires, having some kind of natural disaster, this becomes the norm. When people get snowed in up north, when people these are natural disasters that they get used to. So when most people say, "Oh, it's gonna be a snowstorm. Make sure you do this and that." They're gonna be like, it happens all the time. We don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to evacuate. But then again, if it snows 20 feet high, yes, not too many people are expecting. Yeah, we get snowed in, but to that extent, it doesn't really happen. So that's what they're saying. They're used to getting these floods, maybe so high, and people are like, another flood warning. We, whatever, and then comes to find out, it was worse than you thought. A flooding is a flooding, whether it's 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. You know, people's houses sit at different levels. So, and obviously the terrain is not the same. The terrain goes up and down too. So, again, we do want to keep what they had to say in mind. If you're not from the local area, please please, please sign up to volunteer. Sign up, and even if you are, please do it the correct way. I don't want anybody to go down there and make a bigger make things a little bit more difficult for officers, ambulances, and things like that. If you're not familiar with the area, please sign up to volunteer the right way. They'll have people go out with you guys. That like we all seen it in the movies. Everybody take a partner. But it'll be a lot more safer. They'll be aware that there are other people out there, so that way if something was to happen, or they call off, they close that search side and they move on to the next one. They need to make sure that they have everybody accounted for too. That it makes no sense to put people in more danger than and cause more things. So definitely um sign up the way they mentioned on there. If you want to go to any of those websites, phone numbers, definitely do that. Anything and everything will help. But again, the arguing, the political fighting back and forth is not going to do anything right now for these families. To wish bad upon these families on the saying that nobody deserves this because they chose to vote for somebody that you didn't vote for. That is ridiculous. That is far beyond crazy. Um, far beyond crazy. That means I don't even know what's on. Oh, my Facebook. Okay. So again, okay. So this stream has concluded. So that was the most updated information out there. There is another thing. Actually, no, no, no. Don't send me notifications. Um, right here it says Texas flood. U.S. Rep. August Pfluger's daughters rescued from Camp Mystic. Camp director Dick Eastland dead. Obviously, we knew about that one. But August Pfluger's kids were saved. Daughters were rescued from Camp Mystic after a deadly flash flood in Kerr County, Texas, killed at least 69 people. 11 girls are still missing. So, again, he did message saying that his $2 of the U.S. representative were among those rescued from Camp Mystics, the private Christian girls camp in Kerr County, Texas, that was devastated by a catastrophic flash flooding along the Guadalupe River. Pfluger, who represents Texas' 11th congressional district, confirmed on social media that his daughters Caroline and Juliana were safely evacuated. Camille, Vivian, and I are now reunited with Caroline and Juliana, who were evacuated from Camp Mystic. He wrote, the last day has brought unimaginable grief to many families, and we mourn with them as well as holding our hopes out hope for survivors. So again, I think I even read that one of the on one of the X posts too. I was reading some of the comments. Every now and then I open up and I kind of want to read because you'll find some interesting things, and people say some harsh and mean and ugly things during times like this. And I did open one, and I think one of them said, "What was it? I forgot what I was going with this." I was trying to build up the story, and I forgot what I was going to say. Uh, but anyway, they're just comments. You really got to go, and if you do go look them up, um, that's just crazy. Again, these are comments that don't need to be. Oh, I think it was right here. I think this was one of the comments. Of course, they deleted all the comments. I'm pretty sure they said some hateful things on there towards Donald Trump. Um, but again, this right here is crazy. See. Okay, so right now it says Texas Rangers are collecting DNA from unidentified victims and from family members and flying it to the University of North Texas in Dallas, where scientists will work to identify some of the deceased. Officials are expecting to identify victims thanks to rapid DNA within hours. Oh, so that's why I was going with that. That this kind of helped me remind it. that people. No, I forgot again. Hey guys. Identifications from the family members. Officials are expected to. What, baby? The lucky mom?
How? Why?
Help, Orion? Okay.
What happened? Because he tried to turn off the thing.
And I'm gonna tell Daddy, and he's gonna whoop your ass. Okay. Okay. Let me see where I'm at. So anyway, like I was saying, thank you. Bless. You're welcome, Rainbow. But yes, some of the comments are really mean. I think God, I can't I it comes into my head and then it just like leaves, but oh yeah, because it was a lady who had their kids. That's what it was. There was this family that had their kids at Camp Mystic, and they took, I guess, this summer they went to Europe, and they messaged when this first thing came out. They put their comment like, "I hope everybody's safe. We're coming home from Europe. Our daughters are in this. We're gonna go see what we." They didn't have any information at that point. So can you imagine these parents that are on a vacation? Um, thinking that their kids are saved at this camp, and then all of a sudden this happens. You don't have any access to information. You're cross country, um things like that. So and then they wanted to go off instead of saying, I hope your daughters are safe. Okay, in a little bit. Go get him a pizza, please. And then mommy's gonna start cooking here in a little bit. No, 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 don't touch. Okay? Yeah. Yes, it was a surprise. Okay. Go get a pizza. Go get some pizza. Hey, go get a pizza, baby. Now you having me say it all crazy. That's like a tongue twister. Try to say pizza 10 times or even 5. So anyway, so yeah, so she was writing that, they literally took the next flight. It's not like they waited weeks to come home and be like, yeah, they'll take care of it. Like they're literally trying to find a flight that day, that night, whatever, to get home to their kids. And the there was some people, make sure you should do this, try to get a flight. This is how you try to get a flight. Try to do this, see if somebody will switch your seats. I used to work for an airline. If you go and do this, like try to get this, if there's enough room, they'll let you on, things like that. um Things like that. So sorry, because apparently my kids want to be in the video and can't control themselves. Give them really, Jaden. Um, share with your brother. Don't be so mean. But yeah, so and then they started attacking these parents, saying, "Oh well, what kind of parents are you to leave your children at camp for all summer and go across Europe?" I'm like, "What? You're more worried about why these kids were at camp? Maybe they liked camp." And then they're like, and then there are some other people were like, "Yeah, I send my kids to camp, but I'm here every day to go do this and then go do that." Well, I mean, good for you. Why? I mean, I'm sure if you had money to take a Europe trip, would you take it while your kids were at camp? I mean, we don't know what these people's financial. How do we know that they don't take 2 or 3 trips during the year? They want one trip by themselves. Like that's what we're arguing about the wrong things. We're picking at the wrong. We're finding things about people to freaking complain about during a time like this instead of being like, dude, we know like we have our personal issue would be like, no, we wouldn't be traveling, but you traveled, you're trying to get back to your kids, like, let me see what I can do to help you. You don't have to see eye to eye with people in order for you to help them. Like, and then you don't have to see eye to eye to go and attack them either. Like, please, people, please keep your comments to yourself. If you're not going to help better the situation, then basically don't say anything at all. Plain and simple. All right, guys. Well, I think that is going to be the end of my live today. I do have some new information on the Carmelo Anthony case. I know there a lot happened over the 4th of July. I think it happened on the 4th of July. Again, the Metcalf family was swatted. The victim's family was swatted again. We will be doing another live on everything that's going on, an update on the Carmelo Anthony. Again, please say your prayers. Please, please. Again, I'm gonna go back and get those numbers and the website from that video, and I will post them up in the description of this video. I'll post it up on my Facebook. I will post it up as many places as I can for you guys to help. I am not taking donations for this because then again, I'm gonna have to go and give it to them. Which I don't mind. I'm gonna give it, but like the fact is that that's an extra step when y'all can just completely donate straight to them and cut out the middleman. So again, if you are willing to donate, please, if you call those numbers that were in the video, go to the website to volunteer. I know Rainbow Tasha already signed up to volunteer. So again, please follow the instructions on how to volunteer, follow the instructions on how to donate. Let's make the process easier and not harder. Let's not interfere. They did say no personal drones. Please, please pass on the message. I know y'all think you're helping, but that kind of um, distracts the other profession, the other organizations like the police, the search and rescues, and the things like that. So please just be mindful that listen to their instructions, and they're only there to try to one save more lives and to make sure that no other lives are be put at risk. So they are the professionals in search and rescue. So please, please, please follow their guidance. Stay away from the area if you're not familiar with it, because the next thing you know, you might not know that there's a curve, the river goes right around this corner, and the next thing you know, you're driving and boom, you land right in the water because it's behind this big old curve and you won't be able to see it. Whatever, please, if you're not familiar with the area, just please, please be careful. If you want to help, sign up, do it the proper way. Um, so again, like I said, we will be discussing the Carmelo Anthony. Probably not today. I'll get on it maybe tomorrow. I already have that information set up. Um, Again, we will be having my event this Saturday, not this Saturday, the 19th, which is maybe the Saturday I think after the next. Um, Again, let me go and share my Facebook, because if I go to the top, it's right here. Um, See it right there. It is going to be on Saturday, July 19th from 2 to 5 at the Reno Schnitzel here in San Antonio, Texas. Again, we will be doing a charity fundraiser for the abuse for my organization, Vivid Lifestyles VVLS. Um, and we will be raising money at this event. So come out, see us if you're local. If you want to volunteer, I could always use a little chatting partner next to me. Or if you want, if you're a DJ, coming out, that's entertained and free publicity for you guys. And I'm not going to be charging a fee for you to be standing out there with me. That is one that's not my place to be, collecting money on. So, I'm just wanting you guys to come with me, and it's great exposure. Always trying to help out, upcoming DJs and stuff like that, or other upcoming whatever, whether it's a photographer. Maybe I have a photographer there and take pictures or something. Anybody who needs a little exposure, I'm willing to help. Um, Let's see what else, what else, what else. If you do wanna donate, right off the back, you can go to the QR code at the top of the corner, again, or go down to the bottom of the screen, go to screenrant.com/addition T with D. You can go ahead and donate there. You can see me live there. You can visit my other platforms from there, and I do have my merch store, up and running. So you're more than welcome to go there and view that. Again, this is the website. And you're able, let me go back to the homepage. Here you are. You see us online. It is live. As right here, you can donate right here. And again, all my platforms are down here. I don't have Facebook on here, do I? I gotta go add on. Holy cow. Holy moly. I thought I had them all on here. Okay, but I have it up here. It is up there. It's just not for some reason big and bold. Okay. Um, again, this is the merch store. Another way to donate the another way to support the organization. Again, I am currently still working on the Dish and Tea with D product, so be a lookout for that. So that is pretty much it. I'm glad I was able to update you guys on everything. I'm glad I was able to give you the information so you could sign up and volunteer, so you can donate at your own discretion. So again, thank you for being here. You guys enjoy. Y'all stay safe. Please let me know what's going on. If y'all have any other updates, if y'all know of anybody, I will try to spread the word, spread the message, and do whatever I can to help. Like I said, would have been on here earlier, but I was pulled away to help out another neighbor here in the complex. Um, so yeah. Anyway, well, thank you. You guys be safe. Again, stay safe. Prayers out to the family, and I am out. Don't forget, pinkies up.